Hi everyone, welcome to my channel or welcome back. I'm Chris and this is my ZEPBOUND journey. I have been very excited about the results that I've been having taking ZEPBOUND. I'm in week 9 and today I'm going to talk about what ZEPBOUND is and what these medications, I'm sorry, I'm having terrible allergies. I'm going to try not to sniff while I'm doing this. I just took a bunch of Benadryl, or not a bunch, but some Benadryl and some Flonase. So hopefully it kicks in. But I have been asked by mostly my husband, my family, anyone that I talk about what I'm doing, they ask me, I don't understand, what are these medications? And so I'm going to just take a little time to explain what each of these medicines are. So I went to the internet and did verify by looking at their websites that this is pretty correct information. Also, feel free to research it yourself. And please call me out on anything that is incorrect that I say. And also, please talk to your doctor. This is not, I'm not pitching this to anybody. I am telling you my experience with ZEPBOUND, which is very different from everybody else's. So we're going to start out with the key differences between Tirzepatide and Semi-glutide. And Tirzepatide is what I'm on. It is ZEPBOUND and Mounjaro. And Semi-glutide is Wegovy or Ozempic. And Mounjaro and ZEPBOUND are the exact same thing. It seems to me that a lot of people over the pond in England are on Mounjaro, and a lot of people here are on ZEPBOUND, although there are some people here on ZEPBOUND. So I'm not quite sure what that difference is. And that wasn't what I wanted to go over today. So that might be a future video. But from what as I've been researching this, because I researched this a lot, because as you know, if you watch any of my old videos, I was very afraid. I'm not a big pharma kind of person. I'm not someone who turns to drugs first thing. I'm very careful about what I put in my body. And it takes me a long time to try a new drug. And it's just, I would just prefer when I can to do things naturally, but weight loss was not something that was coming naturally to me, even when I was doing all the right things like working out and eating grass-fed beef and eating all the things and doing Mediterranean diet. It just, the combination of menopause and a slower metabolism and stress and probably fight or flight and all kinds of things are, willpower is not always the only thing that's going to get you to a healthier weight, is what I'm saying. So these drugs have been a miracle for me. I am 58 and I have never taken something that has completely suppressed my appetite in a way that has not been terrible. I could go to Disney World a few weeks ago and eat things that I wanted to eat. Really what it's done for me is it has given me the ability to have portion control and make it pleasant and not uncomfortable and not something I'm working that's really difficult. Like, oh, I took one bite of something at Disney World and one of the desserts, and then I did not want to devour that whole thing and keep eating and then start my diet again the next day. So that to me has been completely amazing. From what I am reading on Tirzepatide and Semi-glutide, and I know it's different with everyone, but a general thing that I'm coming back with is Semi-glutide seem to have more side effects, and sometimes it's backwards. Sometimes people start with Tirzepatide and switch to Semi-glutide. Most of the people that I see start with semaglutide and they end up switching to tirzepatide to try to reduce side effects. Now, the semaglutide, from what I understand, it's Ozempic, and it was originally treated or created for people with diabetes. And so then there was the shortage and everything else. And then they discovered that these drugs were really helping people lose weight. And so they started to kind of look at that. And what's interesting with these drugs is they're starting to look at these drugs as more people take them as well and realize that for sleep apnea or severe sleep apnea, these drugs can be life-changing. My daughter, who has Down syndrome and who is overweight, has severe sleep apnea and sleeps with a CPAP machine. The FDA just approved these drugs for severe sleep apnea, which is great. Shannon has not tried these drugs yet. She does have a friend who is her age who has Down syndrome, who has started it, and I think she's doing very well on it. So I'm not sure. We may see if it works well for her. So at any rate, these secondary things are coming up as more people take them that are, wow, this has really been helpful for this or this or this. And for me, as you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, it is inflammation is way down, like miraculously down for me, to where I am not in constant pain. My back is not hurting all the time. My neck is not hurting all the time. I just don't wake up with this general achiness that 4 Advil or 3 Advil a day would take care of, or meloxicam that, I hated that, hated the side effects, hated the way it made me feel. This has, for me, and inflammation, been a miracle. So they are now studying all the effects on inflammation. So anyways, back to Tirzepatide. I've got this in front of me to keep me focused, because I actually get very excited when I talk about this, because it has been very life-changing for me in 9 weeks. I'm so looking forward to the next year and seeing where this journey takes me. But the Tirzepatide and semaglutide, so the semaglutide was for people with diabetes. Then they developed the Tirzepatide. Now, semaglutide and Tirzepatide work on, this was fascinating to me, and this is what I always try to explain to people, and if I don't have a chart in front of me, it's a little difficult. Semaglutide, Ozempic and Wegovy, are GLP-1 receptor agonists. Tirzepatide, Mounjaro, and ZEPBOUND are dual GIP and GLP receptor agonists. So Mounjaro and ZEPBOUND work on 2 areas of your body. GLP-1 is a glucagon-like peptide 1, and GIP is glucose-dependent insulinotropic polypeptide. GLP-1 increases insulin secretion only when blood sugar is high. It decreases glucagon secretion, which lowers blood sugar. It slows stomach emptying, and it reduces appetite. So GLP-1 receptor agonists like semaglutide, Ozempic, Wegovy, mimic this hormone to treat type 2 diabetes and obesity. So I am guessing that the people that start this are lacking in this hormone. And honestly, as I get older, I feel like everything comes down to hormones. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right. Sneezes out. So people that go on this are lacking in this hormone or low in this hormone. And I don't know, I need to research, is this something that you can check people for? Or is this just like, can you do a blood test and say, wow, you are GIP deficient? Or if you have to take this medicine to see, hey, this is working for me, I must be GIP, glucose-dependent GIP deficient. So together they form the incretin effect. We're still talking about, we were talking about GLP-1. Let's go to GIP, the glucose-dependent insulinotropic polypeptide. Where it's made, your small intestine. What it does, it stimulates insulin release in a glucose-dependent manner. It may have effects on fat storage and appetite, though it's less well understood than GLP-1. Medical use, let's see, not used alone, but in drugs like Tirzepatide, it's targeted alongside a GLP-1 to enhance effects on insulin and weight loss. Together, these two drugs form the incretin effect, where the gut signals the pancreas to release insulin after eating, improving blood sugar control. Tirzepatide uses both for a potentially stronger effect than a GLP-1 alone. And for some reason, most of the things that I read are that there are less side effects, and I'm not sure why. So I was curious, why would this drug, in my tests, when I had my yearly test last year, where they did all of my blood work, my IR score, my insulin resistance score was good, and my blood sugar was not high. It was not, I think they had said, it's at the higher end, but it's not diabetes and it's not pre-diabetes. So I thought, why will this work on me? And I'm not sure, but it has. So that for me has been very encouraging. So I don't think, or I know through my own personal experience, that you don't have to have a bad insulin resistance or bad IR score or have high blood sugar when you are tested for this to be effective. So that's interesting to me. I'm not quite sure why that is. But what else was so the newest drugs that they're coming out with are the triple hormone agonists. And those triple agonists activate three key receptors: the GLP-1, the GIP, which all the ZEPBOUND and Mounjaro are doing now, and glucagon. These new drugs look extremely promising. I had heard that they also have not as bad side effects on thyroid and pancreas that show up in small portions of the population with these other drugs. I don't know if that's true. It doesn't mention that here. But with the glucagon, it increases energy, expenditure, and promotes fat breakdown. So that's very helpful. And the new drugs, by targeting all three of these, the drugs aim to provide superior weight loss and improved glucose regulation. So the newest ones are being developed by Novo Nordisk, licensed by United Biotechnology in China. Their clinical results are showing that patients lost 15% of body weight over 12 weeks, surpassing semi-glutide's typical 6% in the same period. And Eli Lilly is manufacturing, or has manufactured, a version that is not available yet called retatrutide, and that's their triple agonist. Their test results are showing that people achieved 24% weight loss over 48 weeks, and they are in the mid-stage studies. Current status: undergoing phase 3 trials for obesity, type 2 diabetes, and related conditions. So it's very promising, the new drugs that they are coming up with for obesity treatment. And it says it's potentially offering greater efficacy by engaging multiple metabolic pathways. As obesity rates continue to rise, these therapies could provide more effective solutions for weight management and metabolic health. That to me is fascinating. Oh, and then I looked up, I was trying to determine why ZEPBOUND would work for me when my blood sugar was normal and my insulin resistance score was good. And the answer was that ZEPBOUND, Tirzepatide, can be effective even when your blood sugar and insulin resistance are normal because it targets more than just blood sugar regulation. Here's why it still works well. It reduces your appetite and your food intake, and that has been enormous for me. ZEPBOUND activates GLP-1 and GIP receptors, which send signals to your brain that reduce hunger, increase your feelings of fullness, and slow down your stomach emptying, which still, frankly, grosses me out. It sounds gross, but I've been very fortunate. I don't have sulfur burps. I don't have any of the intestinal side effects. I don't know why this drug has been so enormously successful for me. I am down 37 pounds in 9 weeks. I'm actually down 47 pounds. I'd lost 10 pounds before that, but I'm only on this channel. I'm only going by the weight that I've lost since the day I started ZEPBOUND. So, but I am at the point where some of my clothes don't fit, so that's exciting. And I'm starting to notice a thinness here, a little bit of weight loss in my face. And overall, it's, my body composition is changing nicely. I have not measured. I bought a measuring thing on Amazon that wraps around, like it looks really neat. It's like a digital measurer. I'm going to give that a try. If I like it, I'll show it to you later how it works. But because I feel like as my weight loss is slowing down, and it is, but I'm only on 5 milligrams right now. So I have a lot of ways to go up. You go from here, I guess, to 7.5, 10, 12.5, and then 15. So I have 4 more levels to go up, and I'm on level 2. They just upped me to the next highest dose from the beginning. And I was terrified to have terrible side effects, and I did not. So at any rate, those are the major differences with these drugs. And I will print this chart below. If you click on the comments below, I'm going to download a copy of this chart, and you can take a look at it just if you're interested. And also, if you like my channel, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 50 followers. I'm brand new, so that I can do lives because those are fun. And I tried to do a live from Disney World, and I wasn't able to. And I couldn't figure out why, because on my other channel, I've been able to do it all year. And it's because you have to have more than 50 followers. So I figured that out after about an hour and a half of trying to show you my lunch at Disney World. At any rate, those are the key differences. That's just a real quick background on what these drugs are, because that's the question I'm getting asked most. And I wanted to explain it in hopefully not too sciencey of terms, but accurate of what these drugs do. So if you have any questions, drop them below. Thank you for joining me. And tomorrow's weigh-in day, and I start week 10, my week 10 injection. So join me for that, and we'll see how much weight I lost. I try to weigh myself once a week because otherwise I get discouraged. So tomorrow shall be fun, I hope. Have a great day. Bye-bye.